Hey everyone, in today's DMZ video, we got new information regarding DMZ Season 3, which launches on April 12th. Call of Duty just posted new information on their blog that gives us some insight into some exciting new changes to the DMZ game mode. A new faction is coming, a bartering system, Contraband Workshop, new bosses, and more. Let's dive into the details of what we have so far. The first one up is the new Barter System, which allows players to swap items and valuables for others that you might need. This looks to be like an ability to trade, let's say 3 gold pars for 1 GPU, for example. It's unclear exactly how this works. However, if it is something like this though, players are going to be thrilled. I'm sure half of you guys are probably still looking for that blowtorch on Ashika Island. A lot of what is shared in this blog post is somewhat vague, but the devs did say that they will be getting us more detailed information regarding DMZ specifically prior to the launch of Season 3, which is only a few days away. For now, we'll just have to let our imagination kind of run wild as we go over some of the details that they did share with us. Next up is the addition of a workbench, which will allow players to modify contraband guns mid-raid. For a cash fee, players can add attachments they have unlocked for the contraband's platform onto a piece of contraband or remove them piece by piece as well. Basically what this means is if you have the M4 fully unlocked through your character and you have all the attachments unlocked and you pick up an M4 on the ground, you'll be able to customize that M4 exactly how you might want to, like with an insured weapon slot. For a price, of course. This is absolutely wild because it gives players the ability to create a meta gun in-game versus solely relying on their insured weapon slot. A really interesting addition that players have been asking for a while now. Really curious to see how it shakes out in game. Next is the new active duty operator slots. So you will no longer have just one operator that you use raid after raid, but rather multiple operators all with their own gear like backpacks, plate carriers, kill streaks, revives, and gas masks. For example, this allows players to hold back on using their fully kitted up operator if they weren't interested in putting it all on the line for their next deployment, effectively giving players more control over how much they are willing to risk depending on which missions they have. This is a really interesting change, and once again, I'm curious to see how it affects the balance of the game right now, especially with regard to PvP and PvE. I would imagine that players would quickly infill to grab a 3 vest on all of their operator slots and then just go in fully kitted over and over again, but we'll have to wait and see how things play out. Next up, we are getting a new faction with Season 3, which is super exciting. That brings us up to 5 factions, 3 mission tiers at launch, plus 2 more tiers in Season. Now, it is not clear yet if all of the missions will be resetting with Season 3, or will they just be adding the new faction? The wording on the blog post specifically says new and remixed missions, and Infinity Ward is introducing a new set of faction missions for this upcoming season. That does sound like they are planning on redoing all the missions. I mean, how can you have a remixed mission if it's all the same missions from the last season? So we'll have to see. I mean, the devs did clearly state in their last update prior to Season 2 that they were not planning on wiping missions every season, even though they never specifically said Season 3 would not have wipes. It does seem like an awfully short amount of time to wipe mission progress, being that it has only been 2 months since Season 2. We'll have to wait and see when they give us more details in their upcoming DMZ blog post. They're also adding a new contract type, which sounds pretty cool, which has players enter the exclusion zone looking for specific containers, and they say it's a great way to rekit your operator after a death. Lastly, we've got new bosses. Operators should prepare to face new threats across the various exclusion zones, with 2 bosses in a new underground area in Al Mazrah. Now, these details are redacted and likely not going to be shared with us prior to Season 3, and surely we'll be having to discover this for ourselves when Season 3 launches on the 12th. They also don't mention here if there will be new case rewards, but hopefully at this point they do add some more rewards. Perhaps maybe just adding new cosmetics to the existing weapons case pool so that players who haven't gotten all the rewards can still get them, and players who have completed everything have something to look forward to. Because Season 2 is kind of a bummer, you know, knowing that all the weapons case rewards from Building 21 and in Al Mazrah were the same. We'll just have to see it once again. This blast of information just got me super excited for Season 3, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on all this new stuff that we have. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching as always, and make sure to drop a sub for more DMZ content, and I'll catch you in the next one.